The first Frozen came out in 2013. That was 6 years ago. Let that sink in. Hey everybody, and thanks for watching this video and checking out my channel and join me for another movie review. I just got back from seeing the newest Disney movie, Frozen 2, the sequel to the 2013 hit film Frozen. If you'd like to talk about this movie with me, I welcome you to do so, and I'd love for you to do so. Just comment all your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below, and let's get a fun conversation going. And with all that out of the way, let's talk about the newest Disney sequel, Frozen 2. So Frozen 2 is once again directed by Jennifer Lee and Chris Buck, and brings back the voice talents of Idina Menzel as Elsa, Kristen Bell as Anna, Josh Gad as Olaf, and Jonathan Groff as Kristoff. When Elsa is being called by a mysterious voice, Anna, Kristoff, and Olaf follow her on a quest into the enchanted forest, hoping to uncover the secrets that lie within. So as far as the first Frozen goes, I'm not a huge fan of that movie. I like it. I think it's good. I'm just not over the moon about it as much as everybody else seems to be. Even when it first came out, I kind of thought it was just alright. I liked the songs. I thought they were catchy. I thought it had some fun within it. But as far as it's blown up in pop culture and stayed there for the last 6 years, I have not loved it as much as everybody else over the past 6 years. So when I found out Frozen 2 was in theaters, I was like, I'll check it out. I didn't have any expectations for it. I just kind of went in just to see if I would have a good time. It was something to see in my local movie theater. And in some ways, Frozen 2 did exceed my expectations. First off, talking about what I liked about the movie, Anna and Elsa's relationship in this movie, I feel like we got a lot more of here than we did in the first Frozen. Arguably, the heart and soul of Frozen is the relationship and sisterhood of Anna and Elsa. They actually did a really good job of demonstrating the bond that Anna and Elsa both had. Because Elsa is the one that kind of seeks adventure, and Anna is the one who wants to keep her protected, so she's the one that worries, and that's kind of how their relationship goes throughout this movie. But it is a pretty endearing sisterhood relationship. I can see why so many little girls around the world have gotten attached to Anna and Elsa and why they are so popular with the young youth of today, because they really do demonstrate a really nice sisterly bond here that I think a lot of young girls, especially young sisters, can connect to. It is a really cute and charming relationship between the two, so I thought it was really cool that we got to see more of them together in this movie, going on the adventure together, because in the last film, it's really Anna going to find Elsa who's shutting everybody out. It's nice to see Elsa letting people in this film and seeing the relationships that have developed and grown since the last film. I also really enjoyed a lot more in the story this time than I did in the first film. In the story this time, we really get to explore Arendelle, am I saying that right? I don't remember how to say it. I don't care enough to remember. We'll call it Arendelle. I feel like it was called Arendelle. We get to see more and learn more about the history and past of Arendelle. We get to see more of the Frozen world that these characters are living in. We get to learn more about the mythology and the lore of this world that I thought was a lot of fun. The movie had a really kind of cool and fun fantasy adventure element, and there was a lot of really cool and beautiful sequences that they were able to create with the beautiful animation that they have for this movie that made a lot of the fantasy adventure elements in this movie a lot of fun and really gorgeous to watch. And that's something that I thought they even improved on since the last Frozen film, was the animation, not just the way it looked, because the technology for animation is going to progress. Of course, it's been 6 years since Frozen, it's natural for it to progress. I feel like they made a lot more creative sequences and more exciting and thrilling sequences with the animation and how they were able to use it in the story this time, as well as also some more creative imagery and being more creative with the characters with the animation, especially with Olaf. There was a lot more of Olaf in this movie, and the way that the animation on him is used, they do a lot of really fun stuff with how they move him around, how he's able to take himself apart and then reassemble. They're able to have a lot of fun with that ability that Olaf has. And Olaf is also the biggest comic relief in this movie, which some people I can see him finding annoying. But as far as I can go based off my theater experience, the kids are going to love Olaf in this movie, because the kids in my theater were going absolutely nuts for him. Everything he said, everything he did, it was like the greatest joke ever was just told, and they were just erupting in roar, which was pretty awesome to hear all those kids enjoying the film. But being older and an adult, I guess, I did have a couple more issues with Frozen 2 than I feel like I did in the first Frozen. The first Frozen film definitely has a more focused story. I felt the script for Frozen 1 was definitely tighter and more focused, whereas in Frozen 2, the story of Frozen 2 I think is really cool what they were doing, but they also feel like they didn't do enough with the story. The movie felt like it meandered a lot. There are a lot more songs in Frozen 2 than in Frozen 1, and none of the songs I feel like are going to hit and transcend the movie as much as Let It Go did in the first one, which isn't so much a negative to the movie itself, because that's almost an impossible feat to do. That song became such a staple in pop culture history over the last 6 years, it's almost impossible to ask Frozen 2, okay, do it again. But they do attempt at sometimes to do it again. And all the songs in the movie, they're nice, they're catchy. Some of them I feel like are more forgettable than others. There's not really one that really sticks in my mind. But all the voice talent in the movie does a really good job, and that also goes with the songs. And I mean, you gotta give a huge credit to Idina Menzel as Elsa, because my word, that woman she can really belt out those notes, and she definitely, in my opinion, has the best voice of the entire cast. And Elsa gets a couple more solo songs than she did in the first Frozen, which in my opinion is not a bad thing. And I like seeing Elsa, Anna, Olaf, and Kristoff as a group going on this adventure. But when you do have that many characters, someone has to get pushed to the back, someone has to get pushed to the sidelines, and in this case, it was Kristoff. Kristoff got kind of pushed to the background in this movie. He doesn't have that much to do within the story. He's got his own little side plot kind of going on that's separate from the other movie, and I feel like if you didn't have that side plot, you could have explored the story that Elsa, Anna, and Olaf were on a lot more and a lot deeper. You could have gone more into the mythology and the lore of the Frozen world in that aspect if you just taken out Kristoff's part. Not that it's bad, it had a couple decent laughs in it, but I was definitely more interested in the story going on with Elsa, Anna, and Olaf over here than I was with Kristoff going on over here. But in the end, Frozen 2 was actually pretty decent. As someone who's not a huge fan of the first one and kind of finds it enjoyable, I found this a very decent and enjoyable sequel to the first film as well. I thought it did some pretty cool fantasy adventure elements, although I wish they had gone into it a little bit more and the story didn't meander as much as it did. I thought it had a great relationship with Elsa and Anna and really demonstrate a great sisterhood between the two. I thought Olaf actually provided some pretty good comic relief even for myself. I was laughing at a majority of his scenes and what he was saying. The animation, I mean, you can't deny it, it's absolutely gorgeous. The songs, while not as memorable as the first Frozen for me, I did find kind of catchy and I was enjoying throughout the film. And for a movie that I wasn't really anticipating seeing, that I wasn't like, oh, I can't wait to see Frozen 2 as I was walking into the theater, I walked out having a good time and remind myself that ultimately this is made for kids. I think kids are going to have a lot of fun with this sequel. I think they're going to find it kind of thrilling and more exciting than the first one. And I think the adults can have a good time with it too. It's cute, it's charming. I enjoyed it. Anyway guys, those are all my thoughts and opinions on Frozen 2. But what did you think about Frozen 2? And what do you think about the first Frozen? Are you on the Frozen crazy train, or are you kind of like me where you're like, they're alright? Comment down below, let me know. I want to hear all your thoughts and opinions about these movies. And as always guys, thank you so much for clicking on this video and checking out my channel. And once again guys, my name is Zachary Milne. Thank you for talking movies with me, and I hope you have yourself a great day.